What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Everything's going down. This is Eric Brent, Family Cash Machine, and I told you guys I would bring you guys some information regarding the Robinhood and the Gamestop and what happened with that whole thing there. It was a manipulated situation. I tell you guys all the time that Wall Street is manipulated, highly manipulated, and about 85% of the people that invest money in Wall Street, they actually lose. There's a few instances where people make money and win, but at the same time, like I said, it's very highly manipulated. It's been that way since the Great Depression. And if you guys don't know, now you know. And I'm going to bring this information to you guys about what happened with the GameStop. I know it's been all over the news, but at the end of the day, I want you guys to really understand there's so many moving parts to this thing that's going on. And the way I heard it, it started from Reddit. And we're going to go into it right now and see how this thing went about. And I'm just curious to see how it's going to play out. But I don't think it was about just Reddit. And we're going to see that right now as I move into showing you guys a few slides that I created just to kind of show you guys what really went down with this. And it wasn't what you think it is. So let me blow up my slides, and then we can go from there. We'll start from the beginning, and I'll just kind of blow myself up a little bit so you guys can see me as well as we're talking about this whole debacle. Okay, GameStop manipulation. I know it was a manipulation. I told you guys that Wall Street's highly manipulated. I read this article here, and it triggered me to investigate some things. So I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna go a little slow because I have a tendency of going real fast because I have so much I want to share with my people. Because as you guys know, the Family Cash Machine, we teach money. We teach you guys about cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and this is one of the greatest innovative technologies in the world, and Wall Street is very threatened by it. But let me say this: Reddit co-founder, Reddit co-founder calls GameStop a frenzy, a bottom-up revolution, shifting power from the small investors. Okay, now what they actually are meaning by that is, we live in a day and time when the bloggers and social media has the power and ability to, within seconds, spread information. And most of your youngsters, most kids now, millennials on up, they don't, and on down actually, they don't really get their information from the news. They get their information from blogs, from social media, whether it's Instagram or whether it's Facebook. This is where they're getting their information from. So Reddit is a blogging platform where there's a lot of people on there, and I think actually Bitcoin kind of started on the Reddit platform. A lot of the cypherpunks from Bitcoin, the original programmers, a lot of them were communicating on Reddit as well as far as updates as to the project. But so this is being claimed as something that was a frenzy started from the little guy. But as I investigate this, there's so many more moving parts in this whole thing. It's not even funny. And so Reddit co-founder Ahanian called the retail investors driven trading frenzy in GameStop a seminal moment for finance and industry, because what they're saying is for the first time, digital technology, social media is interacting with Wall Street, and it's creating a situation where the little guys have an opportunity to basically get into a revolution with the hedge funds and these other major corporations and Wall Street entities are having now a revolution between the little guys and the big guys. This is kind of what they're talking about here. So let me go to the next slide. The next slide here, give me 1 second here. Okay, there we go. Did I go to the next slide? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the next slide. Here we go. Okay, now, what's interesting is Ohanian said that GameStop short squeeze, which has fueled the video game retailers stock nearly 2,000 this month. 2,000% this month alone shows the disruptive nature of the internet. Again, like I said, they're basically talking about how the internet has the power through social media and things like that, and blogging, and this has the power to disrupt the Wall Street in a major way because information travels, and then you create all of these, this movement from internet. So the average little guy, basically they're saying won this time. The average little guy, created this frenzy from Reddit. I don't think so. I've seen some other moving parts here that I want to share with you guys. I got a few notes, so bear with me again. I'm going to take my time. Now, what is a short? I want to explain to you guys what a short is in the market. A short is basically when the market's here, and then, you basically get into a stock, but you don't own it, but you get into a stock and you make an order, but you don't own it, and you anticipate the stock dropping. So when the stock drops, then you actually purchase the stock. So this in between is considered your gain. Okay. So shorting the market is basically when you're kind of betting that the market go down, and the further it goes down, the more money you make. But there's no limit on how much you can lose if it goes the other way, unless you have a stop loss and stuff like that. But a short is basically you kind of controlling a product, but don't own it. You haven't bought it yet. So that's kind of interesting how that works. So what it's saying here is it created a short squeeze, which fueled the retailers. Okay, now 2,000%, this thing, it took off 2,000%. But what they're not telling everybody is what actually happened is hedge funds. There were hedge funds that sold over 138% of that stock. There was a few other stocks that they sold, but Gamestop was a part of it. Over 138% of that stock, of certain stocks, were dumped. I know you're saying 138%. How did they do 138%? I thought it was just 100%. How can you go over? It's called leverage. These companies are allowed to use credit, and they're allowed to go over and things like that. Money talks, bull crap walks. So there was 138% of stocks, including GameStop, that was dumped in a short, and were shorted the market. So when people got news of that, the little guy on Reddit, they start blogging, and they started telling people to go ahead and buy the stock. And so now the stock shot up. That's what happened. So I guess the little guys did win, but it's not just the little guys that created this debacle. There again, like I said, 138% of certain stocks, including GameStop, was shorted, were sold, okay, on the market. And the little guys got word of it, and they started to say buy the stock. So they shot the stock up. Now, when they talk about a short squeeze, what that means is when you have a huge loss in the market, because right here it says, amid the GameStop explosion rally, short sellers have accumulated losses of more than $5 billion year to date in this stock, including 917 million on Monday and 1.6 billion on Friday, according to the data of S3 Partners. So what does that mean? That means that, like, you guys are looking at all the little guys won and made money, but somebody is losing big time. There's going to be some big losers, because remember that the 138% that they shorted, and then a lot of people that want to get in after that. This is what happened when you have a short squeeze. A short squeeze means that those bloggers started blogging so fast and people started buying the stock. So remember I told you that the concept of a short is the market's here and you don't own it, but you want to get in. You want to control it, but not really own it until it gets down here. So that in between, because it's going to drop. You're really betting that it's going to drop. So once it drops, then you get in down here. Okay. Well, what happens with a short squeeze is because of this huge loss, that SEC required them to margin call to basically cover some of those losses right away. So this creates now the market to go up here, okay, above where it started. So the people that want to get in now, they can't get in at the low or where it started. They got to get in up here somewhere. It's going to create a huge, massive loss. And we'll find out when it goes through the clearinghouses, because right now it hasn't actually went through the clearinghouses. There's only 6 clearinghouses in the world. That's it. There's maybe 6 of them. So it's kind of like clogged up right now. We still don't know the damage. Just remember this, people. Let me slow down. Just remember this. Whenever there's a $5 billion loss, there's a gain. And whenever there's a $5 billion gain, somebody loses. Somebody's always winning and somebody always losing. This is why we came up with the coined the phrase in Family Cash Machine, somebody making some money somewhere and we need to be that person. Now, in this instance, I'm so happy it was the little guys that made money because of their quick reaction to this 138% dumping of a stock, okay, which forced it down. They got in, started buying as it started going up, and they made money. That's the part they show you. This is the moving part they show you. There's so many other moving parts that they're not talking about that we're going to get into right now. Okay, once this happened, we have Robinhood restricts trading in Gamestop, other names involved in the frenzy. Robinhood, now hold up, I thought Robinhood was for the little guy. I thought Robinhood was for the little guy. Robinhood is this company that pretty much joined this whole revolution of on Wall Street when it was taking back Wall Street. That's kind of what created this whole Robinhood movement. And just think of the name, Robinhood. Robinhood takes from the rich and gives to the poor. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, Robinhood, again, is supposed to be for the little guy. Okay, but it's interesting that the Republicans in Washington, they warned Wall Street, the GameStop populists are more powerful than you think. In other words, these people on the games and blogging, and they send information through gamers and stuff like that. These people are more powerful than you think. So what Wall Street is saying is, don't underestimate these little guys. Don't underestimate the power of communication, the power of social media, and they have the power to communicate within seconds, spreading information, almost like insider trading in a sense, because now information can travel in milliseconds and people can capitalize on markets like you wouldn't believe. And I'm not mad at that. That's called decentralization. That's the whole thing that I represent with cryptocurrency, is power to the people. The people using technology to benefit themselves and to leverage themselves over major corporations. I love decentralization because it helps to exchange wealth more to those that are average people, and it keeps monopolies from happening. So hey, I'm all in it. So then it says GameStop shares fall, halted several times after brokers placed restrictions on trades. Now, this is the part of the game I don't really like. Okay, you guys come in and dump 138%. How'd you do 138%? I'm still trying to figure that out. But it's called leverage. So they dumped 138%, being slick and trying to short sell. But then everybody got in and shot that stock up. So it forced a short squeeze. See, it forced a short squeeze. So now you got a big old mess here. You got a big mess. Okay, and then Reddit backed investors storming the street, traders, and decipher the gaming of GameStop, meaning they just, they started taking advantage of this. I'm not mad. Again, like I said, this was a part of the little guy winning. And then, like I said, but Robinhood restricted trading. I know individuals that got caught up and they couldn't liquidate, and they were at a win. They were winning at that point. But when Robinhood stopped trading for them, they got stuck, and I don't know how they're going to come out on this, but this is highly manipulated, you guys, highly manipulated. It's not just a little guy. What's the connection here? Let's look at the connection here. Let me look at this. Robinhood gets almost half its revenue in controversial bargain with high-speed traders. Whoa, what does that mean? What does that mean, you guys? That is not good at all, because Robinhood is supposed to be for the people. Robinhood was created as this free trading platform. And I remember when it first started, and they pretty much have made trading a game with Robinhood. And it was kind of interesting. I never got involved, although I signed up. My whole team signed up. We never got involved because it just kind of looked a little sketchy from day one. Because free trading platform. Like, what's really going on with this? And let me show you what's going on with this. Bam. Let's read this right here. Citadel is a hedge fund that owns Melvin Capital Management. Melvin is a money GME short seller predicted to lose billions due to the people taking the free market back. Wow. Citadel owns what? Robinhood. Citadel banned purchases of new GME shares on Robinhood. Market manipulation. Now look, now it's market manipulation. Oh, it's market manipulation now since the little guy got information and spread the information within milliseconds through blogging and capitalized and went in and buy those stocks. When you drop the price, the little guys went in and took over. But again, like I said, there's so many moving parts here. You can't just blame the little guy, because now we're finding out Citadel owns Robinhood. Now, who is Citadel? Citadel is a major wholesaler, quote unquote, of hedge funds, stocks, and things of that nature. They're in a market that most banks pretty much gave up on, and they're in that market. But it's very interesting that Citadel owns Robinhood, because Citadel is a major player in the game, okay? A major hedge fund player. Now, I want to say this. If Citadel owns Robinhood, that means that these two companies, they've been working together. They've been in the bed in an incestuous relationship for a long time. And this is why I say that this whole Wall Street is manipulated. Now, I'm not saying you guys can't make money in it. I'm just saying understand the game. It's the game of money. It's a game you can't understand. You can't afford not to know. So this is a game here. Okay, so just bear with me for a minute. Check this out. Citadel, a major corporation, created this for the people Robinhood free trade, but something stinks here. Something doesn't smell right, because that means that these two companies, they knew what this platform Robinhood would look like before it even started. They had the prototype, they had the model. They had the philosophy and the methodology of how it would roll out as a for the people company. See, so information, man, information is powerful. So now we're connecting the dots. This is follow the money, family cash machine, follow the money. And the reason we doing all this to you guys, so you can start learning more decentralized and learning more of cryptocurrency, blockchain, get into a market that's not manipulated like this, and control your own value and be more in a position where you have more transparency. See, I have to dig all this stuff up to show you guys the manipulation going on. Citadel owns Robinhood. Interesting. But Robinhood is supposed to have been this entity created when Take Back Wall Street and we're for the people and we're going to give the people the power. But you're working for the hedge funds. You're created by the hedge fund. Wow. Maybe that's why they stopped trading on Robinhood, because they were ordered to by Citadel, who's really the real owner. Interesting. Now let's go deeper. Tyler Walkenboss, one of the Walkenboss twins. This guy here is one of the owners of Facebook at one time. They sued Facebook for over 300 million, him and his brother. They're on Wall Street. They're trying to make Bitcoin an ETF. Citadel plan was clear from the beginning. He says Robinhood was never what it pretended to be. It's built its business, on selling Wall Street bets order flow, to the hedge fund Citadel. In the moment of truth, we learned which customer it really cares for. They don't really care for you. They quote unquote giving you a free product. They're giving you actions at selling a free product. But what they're doing is they're actually selling you these products at retail prices. They're selling it at retail prices, order flow, and they order the flow straight to Citadel. Wow, this is amazing. This is all rigged. Okay? So they're not giving you anything free. They're extra charging you for these products. You're paying retail. Basically, you're paying retail for some of these products. And, Citadel is supposed to be a wholesale market, and it's a big Wall Street brokerage. They really gotten out of the game, and they're a private corporation. They got out into this game. Most of the banks gave up on that type of industry, and Citadel is one of the companies that's in it. Woo! This is getting quite interesting here. I'm almost done. Follow with me. I'm almost done. Got 2 more slides. Okay. Now check this out. Robinhood, there is no such thing as a free lunch. When somebody say free and it's on Wall Street, beware. There's nothing free on Wall Street. Free? No. Robinhood Market Incorporated has built this reputation on its origin of and countercultural, and they steal from the rich, give from the poor. Robinhood steal from the rich, give to the poor. Okay, but that's not true. That's not true. We gotta really look at this for what it is. They are working with a major hedge fund company. So what does that mean? Let me show you what that means. Almost done here. That means that almost all retail brokerages, it's a retail brokerage, I told you that, employ the practice called payment of order flow. It's an unlikely, unusual strategy company built on an anti-Wall Street message, okay? Because they came out with this anti-Wall Street message. So don't look behind the curtain. You're not supposed to look behind the curtain. Remember the Wizard of Oz when this big voice and fire coming out of this guy, but when you pull the curtain back, it's just some little frail old guy. That's what's happening here. This Robinhood, was supposed to be for the people, but now we're finding out what they really are doing. And I'm going to break down what they're really doing. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let's break this all down. What they really doing, okay, with this Robinhood. Chicago-based Citadel Securities accounts for 40% of every 100 shares traded by the individual investors in the U.S. market, and the #1 retail market maker. So basically, what's happening is you have Robinhood reselling or basically giving all of these trades to Citadel, and Citadel is re-putting them on the market for higher money. And so they're basically flipping it. They're basically flipping it. So what they do is they make money by automatically taking it to the other side of the order. So let's say, for instance, they take in a bunch of short sales, or they take in a bunch of buys for a certain start. They immediately go against that. They immediately order against that. Wow. And then they flip it and they make all the money. This is not for the people. So it's funny how they're screaming now, you know what I mean? Foul ball. But this whole scenario is multiple pieces moving, and it's coming from hedge funds. It's not coming from the little guys. The little guys just, was able to capitalize on it because the information moves so fast and travels so fast, and we have disruptive technology when it comes to blogging and internet and social media and stuff like that. So this is pretty much what's going on with that whole scenario. And again, like I said, this was not something that was something small. It was huge, huge, huge. And there's a lot of moving parts interacting in this thing. It was orchestrated, it was manipulated, it was calculated. And I'm so happy that some of the little guys made a bunch of money, because this is not going to be nice when it goes through it hasn't all the way cleared through the clearinghouses, like I said. So I can see some hedge funds crashing. I anticipate some of those hedge funds crashing, and these are some of the people that may lose. But like I said, I'm so glad that some of the little guys won, but I didn't like the fact that they were blaming the little guy for this whole debacle when this was started with that 138% dumping of the shares, okay, and shorting the market. And then all of a sudden, they didn't expect, from Reddit, these people to come in and capitalize and get in position. And that's why I'm always telling you guys, get in position. It's all about your position. position yourself for one of the greatest exchanges of wealth ever in the institute of the world. Because all the economies are crashing right now. All the systems are crashing. Wall Street, financial systems, credit industry, you name it, they're all crashing. So those that are in position with the information is going to capitalize. This is why the Family Cash Machine, we promote knowledge. We put you guys in a position to understand not just these moving parts here, but some of the moving parts in the crypto world, in the decentralized world, and in the money world, where you can really capitalize. This is a perfect example of people positioning themselves by understanding the indication of what that meant of that 138%, creating a short on the market and the dumping of all those stocks, including GameStop. And these people came in and they blogged and said, hey, get in, buy this stock, buy this stock, buy this stock. And it shot it up. And the media and the news blamed the little guy as though we created some fraudulent event when this was all orchestrated from the top. That's what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, this is all orchestrated. This is all manipulated, but it just didn't quite work the way they wanted it to. But at the same time, they were hoping that a bunch of Wall Street guys and a bunch of investors and banks would pick up on it, come in and capitalize on it. But the little guy came in, snatched the breadcrumbs, and ran. That's basically what happened. And so that's what they get. Nah. That's what you get, because people are awake and they're watching. And they have the capability now to message one another or to put things on bulletin boards where millions of people can read and capitalize on. I love it. I love it. I love it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. This is Eric Brent. Follow the money. Family Cash Machine. You guys need to start learning what we're doing and get on the side that's going to change history, because knowledge really reigns supreme, and also positioning yourself is even better than money, because when you know, you can position yourself. If you don't know, you can't position yourself. But to position yourself is to become very wealthy overnight. So take the classes with the Family Cash Machine. We're going to continue to push knowledge, because at the end of the day, what you learn, and when you invest in education, the right education, I'm not talking about just school, go get a BA, spend $50,000 for a BA and you can't even make no money. No, we're talking about spend a few dollars on learning how to maneuver in the money world. Wow. Which is the most valuable world product in the world, money. So if you learn this information that we're teaching, you can use this for life, forever, to make money. And nobody can ever take this from you. And the best thing you can ever do is to invest in yourself. And when you invest in knowledge, invest in courses, the right kind of courses, and you put yourself around the right people that know this information, guess what? You're going to win. So with that, we're going to sign out, you guys. You have a great day. This is Eric Brent, Family Cash Machine. Peace.